Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in to watch our webinar about your invoice. So this is the first of a couple of webinars that we will be doing for you. This first one really just is to explain how your invoice works, what the different pages are there for, and how to break it down yourself. So today we have myself, my name is Kate, and I am the training team lead for the UK.
And my name's Sophie, and I'm one of the trainers here in the UK too.
So I'm going to share my screen where we'll be able to see a dummy invoice. So this is an invoice that isn't attributed to any particular partner that we have here in the UK, but it's got lots of data in it so that you're able to see exactly what each page means. So I will just get that ready, and then I will hand over to Sophie, who is going to take you through the invoice.
Great, thanks, Kate. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. So you're probably going to be watching this webinar if you have an invoice due. It may be your first invoice that you're having with Treatwell, or maybe you've had a few. Just as a reminder, a bit of background, you will get 2 invoices a month from us. So one to cover the 1st to the 16th of the month, and one to cover from the 16th to the end of the month. So we break them down into 2. All of your invoices can be found within settings and then finance within Connect, and they're all stored in date order. So what we want to do today is go through it with you just to make sure that you have complete clarity and understanding of how to read your invoice, and hopefully answer any questions that you may have if you're looking at this and you haven't for a while. So we're going to start from the top and just work our way down. So the first page that you can see in front of you at the moment is the first page of your invoice, where we're going to give you a summary of all the information and then break that down further as we go along. So as you can see here, the period we're looking at is from the 16th of January 2019 to the 31st of January. Then what we do is we break down how many orders have been paid online versus paid at the venue. Now, this is important to bear in mind, because when you're first looking at your invoice, it's very easy to forget that you may have had a certain amount of money paid directly to you, and that's going to be the orders paid at the venue. So the client always has the choice: do they want to pay online or pay directly to you guys? So you can see here in this example, there have been 5 orders that have prepaid. So we currently have that money and we're keeping it for you. Or the orders paid at the venue, so the money that has been paid directly to you so far. And the total for that is 47 orders, totaling £814.51. Now, when we have a look here, it says minus Treatwell fees, including VAT. So we can see that that's totaling £123.21. So what those Treatwell fees are, okay, is actually going to be the commission that has come off certain orders. Now, you don't pay commission on all of the customers that come to you via Treatwell. It's only on the new customers. I'll go into that in a little bit more depth later on, but just to give you an understanding of what that means. And then we have total you've earned with Treatwell after fees and VAT, so we can see that amount there. Now, it says £691.30. And then we're going to take away any orders that have already paid at the venue, because that is money that you've already received. So your Treatwell balance for this period, so we currently owe you 54p. Anything to add on the summary there, Kate?
No, nothing to add on that one. It's just one thing to be aware, which will probably be highlighted more in the next page, is that our invoicing periods work slightly differently to the date that the subscription starts for each month. So as Sophie highlighted, this invoice period is for the 16th to the 31st of January. However, that's just for any commissionable orders within that period. If you are receiving an invoice on the 1st of the month, so this invoice would have been issued, for example, on the 1st of February, the monthly fee for February will also be included in this invoice, which will be highlighted on the next page. But that can sometimes cause a little bit of confusion as the difference between subscription period and the invoicing period.
Perfect. Thanks, Kate. So moving on down to, we've just got here keep going. There we go. So we're then on to the next page. So we're now on page 2. So as we mentioned, we're now going to break things down in a little bit more depth. So as I mentioned before, the first time that a customer visits your salon, if they have booked through the Treatwell Marketplace, then there is a commission charge of 35% plus VAT. Now, if you are new to us, or maybe have been with us a while and seeing an influx of new customers, it may be that you're looking at this invoice and it's seeming a little bit daunting, because we appreciate that 35% plus VAT, which in total is 42. It's no more, it's including, so 42% is a lot of money, but that is an investment, and it's an investment that you will reap the rewards from. But that, as Kate mentioned, is something we will cover in more depth in another video. So if you want to learn more about that, please do keep a lookout, and we'll show you where to find that information a little bit later on. So we have new customer orders paid online or paid at the venue. So they will always both be 35% plus VAT as a new customer. You can then see how many people have done that. So you can see new customers paid online was 2, and it was 11 paid at the venue. You can then see the total amounts that were paid and the rate, including VAT. And then Treatwell fees, including VAT here too. We then have repeat customer orders, again broken down into paid online or paid at the venue. So here you can see that there is a 2% processing fee on that. Now, it may be that it is 0%, but it does depend on which price plan you're on. So it will vary, but we can go through that with you in a bit more depth if you have questions after the webinar. So you can see here. Oh, sorry, Kate.
I just wanted to add, we've actually updated our pricing plans recently. So now no orders paid at the venue are charged at a 2% fee. So this is slightly out of date invoice example, but now all orders that are paid at the venue will actually be charged at 0%. So it's only orders that are paid online that will receive that 2% processing fee if they're repeating.
Yeah. So the invoice will look very similar, as Kate said, but instead of it saying paid at venue 2% fee, then it will be clear that it's 0% and there's no fee to pay. So you can then see the breakdown here of those two. And we then have widget orders. So widget orders are very similar in commission or admin fee as the repeat orders. So if someone goes through widget orders, is what we class as your book now buttons. So this could be through the book now button on your website. It could be through the book now button on your Facebook or your Instagram, or through a QR code. So all of these options, if the customer is paying online, it's the 2% processing fee. If they're paying at the venue, then it's 0%. So widget orders is equating to all of your book now button orders. You can see here that we had 22 customers paying at the venue and 1 paid online. And again, you can see it's the same information, the total and the Treatwell fees. Now at the bottom, it then says total orders. So all of these combined is 47. And then the breakdown of all of the costs here. And then total fees. And then as Kate mentioned, the monthly fee is then broken down here. So here is the charge for February, which in this case is the £15 plus the VAT, £3, so £18. So we've got the total fees here. So the total amount you can see is always highlighted at the bottom in blue.
Perfect. I would just add on VAT as well. VAT is charged on the rate of commission rather than the cost of the order. So VAT is an added charge that we have to do as we are VAT registered as a business. We have to add VAT to our services. So that's why it's charged on the rate of commission rather than the rate of ordering. But if you are VAT registered, you can have a chat with your accountant or whoever helps you with your business accounts in order to see whether there's anything you can do in terms of claiming that back. But the VAT is just charged on top of the 35%. So we quite often get that as a query. As Sophie said, it works out to be 42%, but quite often people think it will go up to 55% as it's 20% on top of 35, but it's 20% of 35. And that's an important part to remember.
Definitely. Great point. Okay, and that is the second page. So I'm going to hand over to Kate. So this page will be quite important for a lot of you because here we're going to break down the overview by employee. So we do get a lot of questions as well about how to figure out and how to pay if your staff are self-employed. So I'm going to hand over to Kate. She's got a very good explanation for you all, just to make you put you at ease.
Well, I try. So the overview by employee is more relevant to if you have self-employed members of staff that work within your salon. So you are needing to actually pay them from their earnings that they might have had via the Treatwell partnership. So in this instance, let's say we've got employee A and employee B here. You can see that employee A has taken a total value of orders of £424.26. The fees that accrued from that order, excluding VAT, is £32. The VAT is £6.41. So all of the Treatwell fees, including VAT, that employee A owes on what they have made in orders is £38.41. And this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because it all comes down to whether these customers in these orders have prepaid or not. So we can see that out of the £424.26 that employee A has made, £63.75 was prepaid, which means that we have taken that for them, so actually owe them the money of those orders without the commission. So it also can depend on whether they're a new customer or commission or a repeat customer as to how much commission that they're actually paying, because you'll also notice employee B owes quite a lot more commission than employee A, even though employee A made more money. So there is going to be an itemized bill so that you can actually see all the orders and who did them in the next couple of pages. But here we can assume that employee A actually had more repeat business, so was paying the lower rate of commission, but this part of it was prepaid. So we actually owe them money because we have taken that amount in prepaid bookings for them. The best way to know in the end is just looking at the net balance. So we work it all out for you. If it's in a minus, that means that you owe that employee that money. If it's in a plus, it means that they owe that money to you. So because employee B has taken a lot of money in pay at venue bookings, it means that they actually owe you for a lot of the commission that they're needing to pay on those particular bookings. I would normally suggest that you collect any money owing to you by employees that are owing before you're able to pay any that you owe money to, just so that you're ending up not out of pocket and that everything is balanced. So in this instance, you would ask employee B to pay their £6.80 commission on the orders that they made. You can show them the itemized bill to show them everything that they've done, which Sophie will go through in just a second. But once you get that £6.80, you are then able to pay employee A their £25.34 out of what you've also been paid from Treatwell and any outstanding monies that you've had from pay at venue bookings, so that everything should then balance up. I hope that makes sense. It's very wordy. It will take a few goes for you to get it right, but ultimately these are the most important parts. If it's a minus, you owe them. If it's a plus, they owe you.
Perfect. Thanks, Kate. And I mean, it made sense. I think you did great. So yeah, but if you've got any questions, guys, as Kate mentioned, we are here. We're here to support you if you do have any questions around that. Brilliant. So we then have the next page. So here we're going to see the repeat customer orders and the new customer orders. So you can see at the top, it's giving you the information. So the order date and the fulfillment date and the actual service that took place. There would be the employee there who took the service, and then what the order value is, and then as Kate mentioned, the commission rate. So we do break it down for you so that you have all of your repeat customers in one block and then all of the new customers in the next. So it's really nice and clear for you to be able to go through that itemized list and break down who has seen who over this 2-week period. So you can then see all of the totals again at the bottom there. So that's there for you to look at. And it continues on to the next page where we then have your book now orders. So again, broken down so that you've got them completely separate for you to be able to go through on that itemized list and have a look. And I always think it's really nice to have that information as over the 2-week period, where have these customers come from? And that's something that we can work on together. So if you want to try and look to build your repeat customers, new customers, or whether they're coming through your socials, that's something that we can look at together. And it's a nice way to see that. This is really visual. So if we carry on down again, here, then we've got your totals.
That's the end.
That's the end. So, I mean, once you get going, guys, as I said, you know, there's useful information, but if you were in a rush, then I'd say the main pages for you to look at would be the top 3, but the itemized list is always really, really useful and really nice to have. So I hope that's given you some clarity and some understanding as to how the invoice works and what that's going to look like and what to expect. I think main takeaways that we'd like to go through with you is, first of all, if you're looking at these for the first time and it's a lot of data, please don't be overwhelmed. And that if you're getting a lot of new customers through, although it's an investment, and you're going to be thinking, look, you know, it seems a lot of money. We agree. You are making an investment into your business and to us, and we're going to show you how that works and how you can really reap the rewards of that a little bit later on in another webinar. But to celebrate the fact that you are getting new customers through, that is so hard, and it takes such a lot of time and effort. So do celebrate those wins and making sure that you're getting those new customers through. And to remember that difference between the two. So if you're thinking, well, looking at your invoice, that the paid online and the paid at venue. So if you're thinking this doesn't quite add up, then it's probably because you've had a lot of customers that paid at the venue. If we then hold any money for you, but you've had a lot of customers that have paid at the venue, it means that commission cut hasn't been taken yet. So to save any faffing around, we will then deduct any commission. So it may be that less comes to you. Hopefully that makes sense, but just so that you're not shocked or like, I don't understand what's happened here. A lot of the answer is it's probably because a lot of customers have paid directly to you already. Anything to add on top tips, Kate, that I've missed?
I would just say, especially in this itemized bill part, everything that you need in order to track every single order is here in the invoice. It's just not necessarily completely clear in this example because obviously this is a dummy one. It doesn't equate to any actual orders or employees. But remember, this employee column won't be blank and the order reference column won't be blank. So if you ever have any self-employed staff, for example, questioning how much money they might owe, or you questioning any money that you might owe to us or vice versa, you can double check every single item in your invoice against the order references, which are easily searchable within Connect. You just need to copy and paste that order reference in Connect to find that order, just to be sure that you are sure and agree with the charges that have been equated to them. But all of that is totally within your remit to double check, and we are always more than happy to help if you do find that anything isn't making sense to you. But as Sophie said, we are following up this webinar with another one that goes into more detail about the investment that you guys are making. So if you are panicked for whatever reason or want to learn a little bit more about the cost of acquiring a new customer, then do tune into that one as well. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you again very soon.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.